Let's talk about Zina. Now, in my opinion, that is the number one major sin that most Muslims fall into. I mean, drugs are tempting, alcohol is tempting, but I bet you, even for you, Zina is probably the biggest weakness you have. Probably in your entire life. There's nothing that makes you weaker than a woman's flesh. This is completely understandable. The problem is that we don't talk about these things. I mean, what do the sheikhs say whenever it's mentioned? This is haram. This is forbidden. You cannot do this. It is not good for you. Of course, they're going to say that. We all know that it is forbidden. We've been told this since we were 10 years old. It still makes you weak. It's something that we are meant to do. It's something that's in our biology. But Islam tells us to do it in a halal way. And this is the biggest misinterpretation, because when we are young, we are told it is haram, period. But it is not actually haram. It's only haram when you are doing it casually. Just like eating food off the ground would be haram. Well, it would be haram, but it's just gross. Now, I'm going to tell you my experience. I'm not going to expose my sins. And I know you guys don't care about me. You're like, boys, shut up. Just tell us what you have to say and leave me alone. But I have to tell you my experience. Because throughout my whole life, Zina has been the biggest weakness for me. Hands down, there's nothing else that even comes close. I'm not going to tell you the exact stories, but I've been through enough for me to stand here and tell everybody who's watching this, it is absolutely not worth it. And I'm not just saying that because it's a sin. For the purposes of this video, just forget for a second that it's haram. So imagine for a second you've committed zina many times throughout the ages of 16 to 25. You slept with loads of women, you had haram relationships, whatever. And now you get to 25, you look back at your life, you're probably married to some hijabi. That's how it normally goes, because now you're used to those types of women. And that's the only thing you're attracted to. What do they say? The pure is for the pure, impure is for the impure. And now what's going to happen is, you're going to look back in your life, and how do you think you're going to feel about all those times you slept around? I can tell you, from experience, it impairs your ability to enjoy women, to enjoy love, enjoy romance, enjoy sex. Now imagine, for the years of 16 to 25, you didn't do any haram with any woman. And instead, you watched the Muslim Boris videos about halal rizq, you worked out extremely hard, you prayed 5 times a day, you stayed dedicated to your goals, no matter what. And you ignored every single woman that came across your way, with the idea that you're going to have the best woman when you turn 25 and it's time for you to get married. How do you think you're going to feel at that point? Do you think you're going to look back and regret, not sleeping with 10s of 20s of women? You won't, I promise you that. Because at that point, that one woman that you're going to be with, or maybe more, either way, the woman you're going to be with is going to be infinitely more pleasurous. Think back to Ramadan, right? How good did that first glass of water feel? Or that first bite of rice and meat? As opposed to you eating every single day and it's just another breakfast. It's just another lunch. It feels way different, doesn't it? And it feels deserved. It's a whole different feeling than if you just consume it as you wish. It's exactly the same with the women. You need to expand the time that it takes for you to get to something. And the longer it is, and the harder it is, the more enjoyable it will be. It will feel better. It will last longer. If you want to stop being tempted by these haram things, by zina, you have to consciously make the decision to strive for that halal, beautiful love. Not just because of Islam, but because you genuinely want to. That's what's going to give you the power, the energy to self-improve. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be teaching you things that you need to learn. Because honestly, you're probably not ready to get married.